When the 1990s arrived, a peculiar phenomenon began creeping into the skies of Southern California. Residents reported strange, piercing sounds that seemed to split the heavens, vibrations that rattled windows, and moments of unease that no explanation could soothe. At first, it was dismissed as simple seismic tremors, aircraft, or weather anomalies, but soon, something far stranger emerged. Photographs taken from orbit revealed black triangular shapes hovering silently, almost impossibly, in the atmosphere. These were not ordinary aircraft, and the whispers of a secret project began circulating among both the military and civilian observers. Behind the polished facade of the Pentagon and its publicized programs, billions of dollars were quietly allocated to what are known as black programs. Officially, the purpose of these programs was classified, a part of a secretive defense budget that only insiders could fully comprehend. Some skeptics argued that these were merely bureaucratic coincidences, or perhaps references to Project Aurora, a legendary plane whose very existence has been denied for decades. But as the years passed, technological advancements erased many of the previous excuses. Could it be that, hidden behind a veil of disinformation, a startling reality had been quietly unfolding, one the world was not meant to see yet? The Pentagon's Black World is not a separate military branch, as some might imagine. Instead, it is a sprawling, clandestine network distributed across multiple agencies, with tendrils reaching deep into research, development, and defense projects. While the full scope of these programs remains classified, public documents and budget allocations reveal tantalizing hints. For example, the Pentagon's fiscal year 1993 budget allocated nearly $16 billion to classified programs, almost 17% of the department's entire R&D budget. That sum alone dwarfed the defense budgets of most Western nations, hinting at the scale of secretive operations quietly unfolding behind closed doors. The epicenter of these operations has long been rumored to be Groom Lake, Nevada, known to most as Area 51. Hidden among the desert's barren expanse, Area 51 is far more than a simple military installation. The base is surrounded by towering hangars, warning signs, and terrain designed to repel curious eyes. But the most intriguing feature of Groom Lake is its extraordinary runway, stretching 6 miles along the bed of a dried lake, double the length of any other runway in the United States. Such a runway is not built for conventional planes. Only a craft with extreme speed and unconventional flight characteristics could require such an expanse, hinting at the presence of a high-speed aircraft operating in secrecy. Yet, the U.S. Air Force has consistently denied that projects like Aurora, or any hypersonic aircraft, exist. Official statements remain cryptic, dismissing sightings and reports as misidentifications, sonic booms from testing, or exaggeration. But evidence tells another story. In June 1991, a deafening sonic boom swept across Southern California, causing widespread panic. Residents feared an earthquake. Seismologists quickly reassured the public that no natural phenomenon had occurred. However, they failed to mention that this event, and similar hums detected through late 1991 and mid-1992, were caused by an aircraft moving at speeds between Mach 3 and Mach 4, roughly 2,000 to 2,650 miles per hour. The SR-91 Blackbird, a legendary spy plane retired just a year and a half prior, was a candidate. But even the Blackbird's record-breaking speeds of Mach 3.3 could not fully account for these sonic events. Analysis of the sonic trajectory suggested a path over Los Angeles, across the Mojave Desert, and between Death Valley and Las Vegas, leading to the Nellis Test and Training Range, the largest military testing site in the Western Hemisphere. The pattern hinted at a flight path meticulously calculated for secrecy, speed, and reach. Public fascination with a new high-speed spy plane was growing. In 1988, the New York Times reported that the U.S. Air Force was developing a stealth reconnaissance aircraft capable of Mach 6, nearly 4,000 miles per hour. Aviation Week corroborated these reports in early 1990, noting mysterious aircraft departing Edwards Air Force Base, often audible to local residents at night. Eyewitness accounts began to pile up. One reader reported seeing a craft fly 400 miles in just 6 minutes over the Pacific. In 1992, reports from Scotland's remote Macrahan Base described contrails that looked like donuts on a string, a pattern unlike anything conventional aircraft could produce. Some of the most compelling evidence comes from 1989, when Chris Gibson, a former member of the British Royal Observer Corps, observed 2 F-111s escorted by an unknown aircraft shaped like a perfect isosceles triangle with a 75-degree geyser leading edge. Slightly longer than the F-111 and refueled mid-air by a KC-135 tanker, this aircraft's triangular silhouette became iconic among aviation enthusiasts. Many concluded that this was Aurora, the legendary aircraft whose existence was whispered about in defense circles. By 1989, the Aurora project, if it existed, was likely operational. Considering the technological complexity required, development would have started at least as early as 1982, during the early years of the Reagan administration. The SR-71 had already flown thousands of covert missions over hostile territory, routinely circling the Soviet Union while narrowly avoiding thousands of missiles, none of which successfully struck the aircraft. The U.S. military recognized the need for a faster, higher-flying successor, capable of evading new air defense systems and operating at hypersonic speeds. Lockheed Martin's Skunk Works, famous for cutting-edge classified projects, is widely believed to have led Aurora's development. Hypersonic flight presented unprecedented engineering challenges, particularly in thermal management. At speeds approaching Mach 6, air friction alone could heat the aircraft's skin to thousands of degrees. Engineers had to devise innovative cooling solutions, such as preheating fuel before it entered the engine to absorb and expel heat, while also using advanced materials capable of withstanding extreme temperatures. The transonic region, around Mach 1, posed a critical hurdle. Drag spikes dramatically, and maintaining fuel efficiency requires a careful handling of engine cycles. A turbo ramjet engine, combining the best features of turbojet and ramjet designs, would have allowed the aircraft to achieve extreme speed while managing fuel load and heat dissipation. This technical marvel was not just theory. Practical insights from the SR-71 Blackbird's J-58 engines provided valuable guidance. But scaling these concepts to a craft like Aurora required at least 4 powerful engines, advanced materials, and unprecedented precision. Aurora's cockpit, like the SR-91's, would likely accommodate 2 crew members, a pilot and a reconnaissance systems operator. Visibility would be limited by design. At speeds exceeding a mile per second, human reaction time is negligible. The pilot's focus would be mission oversight and emergency management, while the systems operator would control sensors, radar, and intelligence-gathering equipment. Every maneuver would require precision, skill, and absolute trust in technology that most of the world could only speculate about. Over time, Aurora became a legend. Stories of its speed, stealth, and impossibility circulated across military, aviation, and civilian circles alike. And while confirmation remained elusive, indirect acknowledgments appeared. In 2017, Skunk Works CEO Rob Weiss spoke publicly about hypersonic research and vehicles, hinting that technology had matured enough for operational deployment. Was he referencing Aurora or the SR-72, a hypersonic successor to the SR-71, dubbed Son of Blackbird? Perhaps they are one and the same, a single project evolving over decades, hidden in plain sight. The public's imagination often fills gaps in what they cannot see. Locals across California, Scotland, and Texas described aircraft with impossible shapes, speeds, and behaviors. Contrails defying physics, sonic booms that shook the Earth, and sightings that confounded radar systems all point to a single conclusion. Aurora, or something like it, likely exists. Its missions, design, and capabilities remain classified. But the footprint it leaves, awe-inspiring and terrifying, cannot be ignored. Even the most skeptical observers have difficulty dismissing the sheer weight of evidence. Decades of sightings, technical analyses, and insider reports all converge to tell a story of ambition, secrecy, and unmatched technological achievement. These are not simple urban myths. They are the product of a nation pushing the boundaries of flight, surveillance, and national security in ways the world was not meant to witness. From the extreme runway at Groom Lake to mid-air refueling over the North Sea, from sonic booms echoing across Southern California to contrails like donuts on a string, the Aurora project remains a haunting example of what happens when human ingenuity intersects with secrecy. And though the U.S. Air Force and Lockheed Martin maintain official silence, the clues are everywhere for those willing to look and perhaps listen. Today, as hypersonic aircraft are officially in development, the legacy of Aurora continues to influence engineers, pilots, and defense planners. Its existence, whether fully operational or still experimental, serves as a reminder of the lengths nations will go to maintain superiority in the skies. And for the rest of us, it's a story that inspires awe, suspicion, and a lingering question. How much of the sky around us is truly ours to observe? In the end, Aurora remains a mystery wrapped in speed, shadow, and sound. A legend not entirely of fiction and not entirely confirmed. A black triangle that split the sky, shook the Earth, and challenge the limits of human technology. What we know is only a fraction, a glimpse through the veil of secrecy, leaving the rest to our imagination. And now, the question lingers. Was the SR-72 merely a continuation of Aurora, or is it a separate project entirely? Was the aircraft that terrified observers in the 1990s the same one being tested in secret decades later? Perhaps one day the truth will emerge from the shadows. Until then, the legend of Aurora endures, A reminder that some mysteries are meant to be chased, but may never be fully caught.